What's going on, everybody? My name is Leo, and I want to take you guys on a little bit of a journey. Now, this is my first YouTube video. I do have 4 YouTube shorts if you guys want to check that out, but I want to take you guys on a little bit of a journey. So, really quick, me, my girlfriend, and my 2 kids, 2 boys, we are first-time homeowners here in the state and city of Denver, Colorado. Our house is up in Lochbuie, which is just east of Bryan, just a little bit up north from Denver. But like I said, I just want to take you guys on a little bit of a journey. So, well, we've come to find out we love the neighborhood, we love the community. It's an up and coming community. There's quite a bit of a development going on, which is a plus. Obviously, it raises the value of your home and a lot more other things. So we've been here almost a year. We bought the house back in March of 2024. Right now it's already February of 2025. We're in the middle of February. So we're almost at the 1 year mark. Now, everything's been great since we've been here. I get along with my neighbors. We've had several parties here, family parties, just for the kids and such. But we were not expecting to have these issues or this issue. So about 2 weeks ago, what I've come to discover is we had a water leak. Now, how I came about this, how I discovered this is on a Monday morning. I was getting up, getting ready to go to work. It was 3:50 in the morning, 3:45. I went into the bathroom. I was getting ready to wash my face and brush my teeth when I hear water running. Now, at that early time in the morning, you can hear everything. Everything is dead quiet, dead quiet. And I was like, why do I hear water running? Now, I was trying to put 2 and 2 together. Did one of my kids wake up and go to the bathroom? They did not lift the handle all the way up on the toilet, so it like water is just constantly running in the toilet. Did somebody wash their hands late at night and they didn't close the faucet all the way? These were things that were running through my head, but I thought I was half asleep. So it took me a second. I started going throughout the house and checking all the sinks and underneath the sinks themselves, just to see if I had any water running, any water flowing underneath them, like if I had a busted line. Nothing. But it was strange. I could still hear water running. So immediately what I did is I was like, I gotta shut the main off. And where's that? It's in my garage. We live in a ranch style home, meaning it's all built on a concrete slab. I don't have a garage. I don't have a downstairs. I don't have a crawl space. Everything's built on a concrete slab, and it's all one floor, all one main level floor, which is nice. Um, don't like going up and downstairs a whole lot. I know it's good for you and everything like that, but when you've been having a long day and you got a lot of laundry to lug up and down the stairs because that's where the wash and dryer are at or whatever, it's not fun. So it's nice having just a one floor throughout the whole house. So yeah, I immediately rush out to the garage. That's where my hot water heater is at. My furnace is up in the attic. I do have an attic. And I rushed out here to the garage, and first thing I look down, I see water running away from my house. That's strange. Why is there water running away from my house? I see a crack in my concrete floor. I didn't have a crack in my concrete floor, and it had water in it. So I look around the edge of my house. I see water running from my house, going out towards like my driveway. I was like, "What's going on?" So I immediately open up this little garage door. Yeah, my garage is heated. I open up this little closet right here. Balance my water heater, and I shut the main off. Run back inside, which is right next door to my water heater. Run back inside, start flushing toilets and bleeding out the lines, running all the faucets. Went over to the bedroom where my girlfriend was at. Woke her up. She's all groggy, but she's all in a daze, like all scared. She's like, "What's going on? Like you never wake me up this early." And I was like, "Hey, we got a water leak. I don't know where. I don't know from where or how, but we got a water leak. I had to shut the main off." So she's on a panic, and I was like, "Well, I can't stay. I'm almost gonna be running late for work. I gotta go." So I start making my way towards work. It takes me about 27 minutes in the morning to drive to work, maybe sometimes 25. It just depends on how slow people are driving in the morning. I start making my way towards the work. I wait a couple hours. I start making phone calls. Start making phone calls. I call in plumbers, trying to see who can make it out to come check this issue. Now our house is built in 2006. We are the third owners of this house. We didn't think that we were gonna have any issues like this in a newer home. This is what we were trying to avoid. This is one of the reasons why we moved out of Denver, because we couldn't find any houses that were move-in ready. A lot of the houses down there, they were selling you a pretty picture. Yeah, they'd put in new appliances. They might paint the walls a little bit, maybe put in new carpet or whatever. But the bare bones, the electrical and the water and the gas and all that, like that was all out of date. They weren't doing a whole lot on that. So me and the family, we were wanting to spend a couple $1,000s on starting to put into the house to renovate it, as far as like get everything else up to date, plumbing, electrical, the roofing, bringing the yard up back to life, like having to redo the whole fence line and such. Like we weren't wanting that. I didn't want that. I didn't want to immediately move into a house and start dumping money into it. It's like, no, if we have the option of getting a newer house that's moving ready, we don't have to worry about nothing for a couple years. Great. I don't mind moving outside of Denver. I mean, Denver's getting overcrowded. I mean, we're all from here, the four of us. We're all native to Colorado. We were all born and raised here. We love Colorado. We love Denver. It just is getting too packed, man. Too many people. Our cities, our city highways, and our streets, they weren't made for so much people that came in, especially during the marijuana boom when it first popped off. Like our streets, our city was just overrun. I mean, not that it's in a bad way, but at the same time, like we weren't ready to have so many people move out here. It's crazy now how much traffic gets backed up, and there's no accidents. It's mind blowing. But that's neither here nor there. But so I get the plumber out within the same day that I discovered the water leak, and he couldn't figure out what was going on. And mind you, this is the first plumber. This is the guy that deals with the trenching work. This is the guy that checks the main coming from the street up into the household. So he checked all the line out there. He checked the pressure and everything with the water on and off, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. He's like, I don't know where that water's coming from, and your floor is dry in the garage. Like I can't determine where the water leak is at. I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you, man. I got pictures of it. I showed him the pictures, and I mean, pictures and video kind of don't lie. And he's like, well, that's strange, man. He's like, is your water off? I was like, yeah, it's off. I mean, you've been checking it with checking the service line coming from the street to the house. So we were in the garage and we were just talking, and we were discussing what could this be? What could this be? And not long after, me and him just in the garage standing for a good like 20 minutes, just trying to figure out what could it have been. I get water leaking in the garage while he's there, and he's like, "Oh, okay, now we know where this is. Now we know. Now we know." So he's like, "Well, this looks like it's going to be an interior issue. It's not going to be an exterior issue. So let me call somebody else." So while that he was calling somebody else, my girlfriend came out to the garage, and I pointed out to her, like, "Look, it's coming out from right here." And I proceeded to show her where it was at. She's looking at it and everything. I right away shut the main off, I mean, mind you, this is all going like that. It's going pretty fast. So I had water coming out from by the the seam where the house is and where the garage flooring is. So it's coming through there, and it's also coming. So you can see this, but it was coming through underneath the drywall, just above the concrete, right here. And I was like, what's going on? And then this back corner right here, as you can see, it has a patch right here. It had it was starting to stain, a water stain right there. So immediately, obviously, like I did the first time, I shut them and bled the lines again. Waited for the other plumber to show up. The other plumber showed up and within like 40 minutes. This is a local company. They showed up and he whatever he told me, he's like, I'm about to cut that drywall. Have at it, bro. Have at it. Now I probably could have fixed it myself, save a little bit extra money, but I didn't want to have to run over to the hardware store and see if they had it and seeing if I had all the tools. Started looking through all my tool bags and seeing if I had the right tools and stuff. So I just said, you know what, I'll pay you, man. I paid the guy. I mean, that was quite pricey for that connection. That connection that was ruptured right there in the garage. That's the hose bib or the exterior water spigot where you connect your water hose. So that was busted. But I was like, it's kind of strange though. I haven't turned on the water all fall and all winter long. I mean, I had my sprinkler system blown out. I don't have a water hose connected to that spigot. It was just weird that all of a sudden it just busted. But when the plumber started doing his work in there, he pulled me over there and he's like, "Hey man, let me show you something." He showed me the line. That line had 3 couplings on it. He said this line has been tampered with or patched before him. He's the 4th person to be touching that line. I was like, that's strange. I wonder what's going on. He's like, well, at least we caught the issue before it got any worse. He's like, do you know if that water actually protruded into the bedroom right next to this wall? I was like, you know what, good idea. So I came inside the garage and checked the bedroom right here next to my kids' bedroom, it is my kids' bedroom. So this is where both my kids sleep, my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old. Right on the side of this this closet wall is where that hose bib is. And their whole closet was just drenched. And the water line went all along here up into the entry point of the bedroom. But it was just only up to there. And it came out from the wall up to right here where my feet are. That's how far it went out. And then it went all the way up to that back wall where the headboard is. But all that whole side and almost half of the room, more than half of the room, was dry. You know what? I just gotta start pulling back the carpet. Hooked up a couple little fans that I had in the house and started trying to dry everything out. The plumber was here at 4:30. He didn't finish working on it till almost 8 o'clock. We tested the line. We ran water in the house. We flushed toilets. We ran the sinks, the faucets, and everything. Everything to be working okay. I waited a couple hours. It was 10:30. Me and the boys decided to take a shower. They were at school. They were outside playing, getting sweaty and stuff, and I was at work. Like I said, I'm a truck driver in the construction business, so I get a lot of dust, a lot of dirt that flies inside the cab of the truck, and obviously it sticks to my skin and everything, and you know how it is. So I just had a shower too. The 3 of us, we showered, got ready for bed. Out of curiosity, I just happened to go check his water line connection in the garage, and immediately I saw water again. I was like, fuck. Oops, excuse me. I said, darn, that's not a good sign. So right away, same thing. Ran to the main line, could shut the main off, ran inside, turned on the faucets, flushed the toilets, bled the lines out, and I called the plumbers again. I scheduled them to come back out the following morning, first thing, and they came back out. So when I got off the phone, I walked over to the master bedroom, since the kids' bedroom was was drying out. I had him over here in the master bedroom, and as soon as I stepped in the room, 3 steps into the bedroom, I had water in that bedroom too. So that was not something I was looking forward to. That's what none of us were looking forward to. Immediately, I start pulling up that carpet as well, up to where it was wet. I started like checking around anywhere else. Everything else seemed to be okay. So now I had to break it to the girlfriend, let her know. I was like, hey, so you still have the water issue. It's continuing. I don't know what's going on now. The plumber the next morning came over. I took the day off. I messaged my boss and I told him, I was like, hey, I won't be able to make it in. This is it's getting a little out of hand. I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna have to take the day off. Took the day off. Plumber came out. We were trying to figure it out. He checked his connection. His connection was dry, so that wasn't the case. There's another line. There's another water line busted somewhere. We just got to figure out where. Mind you, we've only been here at the house for less than a year. The house was built in 2006. This is what we were trying to avoid, having any major issues with any houses. He came out. We were looking around. We couldn't figure it out. And he said, "Well, let me bring in another team to help you dry out your floors, your walls, and everything." So they came within an hour as well. They took measurements of the bedroom that was wet. They ripped up the flooring, the carpet, and everything. They put fans. They put dehumidifiers in. We had them. Now, mind you, this all started on a Monday. They didn't take all their equipment till Friday, so this took 5 days or 4 days of them drying out my floors and everything. So the house was just noisy. It was really hard to be in here, seeing your house be tore up, living with a bunch of noise in the house. Your kids can't watch TV. They can't focus. You can't focus because all the noise. It's really loud. We had 10 to 12 fans going on. These are heavy duty fans. And then we had 3 dehumidifiers in the house too. And all this is just loud. Just loud. Kid can't hear yourself think. But it is what it is. How to get it done. So when they ripped up my flooring and my carpet, I noticed that there was 2 patches in my concrete. One was right here in the hallway. That's the master bedroom there, and then right there's the hallway bathroom, and then that's my kids' bedroom. Now these 2 were patches, as you can see. They were patches. Now my mind started turning when I came home from work and they had tore up the carpet and the flooring. I said, that's strange. Why is there patching on the floor? But now it's starting to make sense. Why would I start to have more water coming in through the floor, as far as like my carpet and stuff like that? Like, I'm not seeing any water damage in my walls. If the water lines were running through the walls, I would have seen water damage in my walls. So I was like, no. Did they really run the water lines underground? And I called up the plumber again. I was like, hey man, so I found this out. I got 2 patches in my concrete after the restoration company came. I got 2 patches, man. You think what I'm thinking? He's like, yeah. I was like, I bet you he had this issue. One of the previous owners had this issue, man, and that's why they sold it. This is probably a recurring issue, and they just didn't want to deal with it no more. They were fed up with it, or maybe it was they had discovered it and they didn't want to fix it. They didn't want to deal with it, and they patched it and tried to cover it, put a little bit of makeup on it, and then try to get rid of it. That could be the case. I don't know. I mean, why else would there be any patches? I'm not saying it was the previous owner that we bought it from. Might have been the first owner of the house. Hard to say. Can't reach out to him and ask him. I asked my realtor if that's something that we could probably ask the previous owners. And she said, that's tough because we're way past the due date. Now, if there was anything major that needed to be disclosed, we're past that point. So if you were to go and ask them, there's a high probability that they won't even reply, because if they say they're acknowledging that there was an issue and they kind of addressed it and they were hoping that it wasn't going to come back, I could sue them for selling me a home with a major issue, which was a real downer. I mean, when somebody sells you something used, I mean, you already kind of know what to expect when you're buying a used car off the street instead of buying new. You kind of have a general idea. So you're not all that worried about it because you know that's a depreciating asset. You know that thing depreciates with time, and it's just money that you're losing into it. You can be constantly dumping money into it. Like I used to own two Audis. I own one now, and man, those things have been money pits. But that's nor here nor there. But what I'm trying to say is, a house you can't. It's harder to get rid of. Like I can't just see all this issue right now, see how it is, and be like, you know what? I want out of it. I don't want it no more. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna sell it as is. That's a lot harder. There's not a lot of people that are gonna be wanting and willing to buy a house in the way that it is now, seeing the flooring tore up and the holes in the ground. That might actually discourage and actually report me to HOA or something, because we do live in an HOA community. I mean, you could sell somebody a car and have it having a bunch of issues, but they know what they're getting into, and it's not that they're not paying the amount of money that you'd be paying for a house. Is what I'm trying to get at. Obviously, everybody knows that, but I'm just venting. So these are my thoughts. So I proceeded to talk to the plumber, and the plumber said, well, before you break that concrete, why don't you cut a hole in your drywall and see where the lines go? Pray that they're running through your walls and not underground. I was like, okay, I'll take that bet. So I took measurements to see how far away from my door from my garage is and the height off the ground do I need to cut so I can see the water lines. So I did. Now that cut right there, that was already there. That cut was already there because I used the multi tool, uh, oscillating tool with a little blade on it, and I just barely cut the drywall. I punched it out, and I have it up there just sitting there. But yeah, I saw that the lines went downward, which made it that much concrete, no pun intended, that the lines ran underground. So I got 3 water lines here, and I got my drain line there. I got my drain line right there, and I got 3 water lines. Obviously, you can see the one on the left, that's the red, is hot. The one in the middle is blue, that's cold. The third light on the right, that's my main water line to my. So when I busted up the concrete here in both hallway and bedroom, there was water in them, meaning that yeah, there has been water leaking underground. I came to that conclusion because, like I said, when the plumber had fixed the hose bib or the spigot going to the exterior of the house, I saw water coming out through the seam that connects the drywall and the concrete. So that's where I came up with this, or I decided to go to this length and breaking my own concrete, the patches that there were, to figure out where the issue is. So I was like, well, there's 2 patches here. Hopefully the issue is in one of these patches, and it's an easy fix that I can do for cheap. And then all I have to do is just, as you can see, kept the sand. All I have to do is just buy the bags of cut up right here and patch it, and then bring in carpet and flooring and be done with it. No, that's still not the case. So after breaking the concrete and leaving this exposed the way it is for a couple days, I was thinking, well, maybe that hose bib was pushing out a lot of water. Maybe all that water was stagnant water that was underneath my flooring in the hallway, and then the rest of the bedroom. Maybe it was just stagnant water, and that's what actually just went out to the garage the second time. And I was just hoping for these 2 holes to dry up and then be done with it again without having to do anything extra. It continued. I still had water accumulating in the hole in the hallway. It's not a lot. It's not a lot because we've showered, we washed in the house, we've washed clothes, and we washed dishes and stuff. And it's almost about an inch of water that accumulates in that hole. I mean, that might not seem a lot, but who knows how far that inch goes throughout the rest of the household. So it's really discouraging. It's really a bummer to find these issues in a newer home, especially like your first home. So it's a real bummer. But once again, it is what it is. Can't cry over spilled milk. It's gonna happen eventually. Maybe not in this house. Maybe not even for a few years. Maybe it happens in the next house we might purchase or whatever. Just really sucks. There's no other words I have for that. Just really sucks. Especially with me being in the construction part of trucking. Right now, winter came late. Starting to slow down a bit for us. I've been working pretty consistent up until the start of the year. It's started to slow down. I'm only working about 2-3 days a week, 4 days if I'm lucky, depending on how the weather turns out. And yeah, it's not something that we wanted to get into starting the year with my work situation and everything like that. So I'm gonna be documenting the journey of repairing the home and also making other videos. I did have another plumber come out. We have a different floor plan on how we're gonna do this. We're gonna be deleting the lines as far as like the hot and cold. I'm gonna leave my sprinkler system line. I'm gonna leave that one alone until I reroute the line all the way around the house. But right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the 2 lines through the wall all the way where it's gonna run along the top end, obviously through the studs, like how we imagined it was going to go, and then through that false ceiling right there, and then drop down. This is my laundry room right here, and then it's also gonna go into the bathroom. So the lines that are going underground, they come up underground, and this is where everything comes to. So this is the center point of the spider web. So the lines come up here, they feed off to my washer, and then obviously it connects here for my sink. Got the PEX lines that run across. Obviously it goes to this shower on the other side of this wall, or this tub here. Shower is the other shower. It's right, showers are connected side by side. So that's what I'm thinking, but we're gonna run it all across like that through the top right here, which makes sense. Through the top, drop it down somewhere along this wall, tee off so it connects back in that vanity bathroom, and then have it continuously run through the top right here with this other false ceiling, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. Then drop it down where this pillar is at here, and then right into this wall, and then obviously my sink is right here, my kitchen sink. So that's the floor plan that we're going with. The new plumber said it would take about 2 to 3 days to run all the piping, and then also to repatch it. I'm actually gonna leave the patches exposed, or the holes exposed where the lines are at. I want to make sure that I'm not gonna have any more leaks before we cover everything up again. And we're just gonna hope and pray that this all turns out great. But yeah, this is what we've been dealing with for now 2 weeks now, is living in our house the way it is now. It's unfortunate. I can't. It's hard for me to get away from that, being that down about it. But we're gonna push through. We got a pretty good deal on getting this repair done. We do have family that does carpet from my girlfriend's side, and also the flooring. So hopefully we can get that all resolved shortly after we delete the water lines underground, and then we'll move forward. I will be making more videos. As you can tell by the hat, I do a lot of fishing. I don't do any saltwater fishing. It's something I want to do in the future, but I do just local freshwater fishing. I take my boys with me. My girlfriend sometimes goes with me. I do take friends, or I end up going by myself. So that'll be coming up here in spring, summer. And then also I do a lot of barbecuing. I do a lot of barbecuing on my flat top grill, and also my smoker. I got a barrel smoker, so I will be posting those videos as well. And like I said, I would like to take you guys on this journey with me and my family and see where this takes us. But for now, everybody have a good night, and I'll see you next time.